All right. So we have a rather pivotal game this week against the Niners. Both teams at 5-5. Vikings currently commanding the sixth seed, and this will end up, deciding probably quite a bit in terms of wild card shenanigans. Now, the Niners offensively, they are 13th in total offense, 8th in yards per play at 5.9, 15th in total passing yards, 18th in sack percentage. So they haven't, been the best, but they haven't been the worst at protecting Garoppolo. They are 14th in touchdown percentage, 11th in interception percentage. They are 11th in rushing yards at 123.2 and 17th in yards per carry at 4.2. And they're 22nd in third downs, 37.9. However, they are first in red zone percentage, which is at 77.8. And they're 16th in points per game at 24.6. Defensively, 6 total defense at 318.3. They're 8th in yards per play allowed at 5.3. They are 3rd in total passing yards allowed. And they're 25th in pressure percentage, but they're 9th in sack percentage. So they don't always get pressure, but they are getting home. They are 20th in rushing yards allowed at 115.9. 16th in yards per carry at 4.3. 12th in third down percentage at 39%. 18th in red zone, 61.8, and 11th in points per game allowed at 22.2. Now, their injury report, Elijah Mitchell, he is questionable with a rib and finger injury. Maurice Hurst, doubtful with a calf. And Jermichael Hasty, another running back, is out with an ankle. Now, Minnesota is 7th in total offense, 9th in yards per play at 5.8, 8th in total passing yards. They are 2nd in sack percentage currently at 3.6, 7th in touchdown percentage, and 1st in interception percentage. 14th in rushing yards at 119.2 and 14th in yards per carry at 4.3. They're 18th in third down percentage at 38.8. 5th in red zone percentage at 67.7 and 13th in points per game at 25.5. Now defensively, not nearly as good as the Niners. So they're 28th in total defense right now, 23rd in yards per play at 5.8, 20th in passing yards, 3rd in pressure percentage, and 3rd in sack percentage, though. So they do have that going for them. 27th in rushing yards allowed at 127.0, and 31st in yards per carry allowed at 4.8. They're 8th in third down percentage, though, 25th in red zone percentage at 67.9, and 22nd in points per game allowed 24.2. Now, the Vikings injury report, Josh Metellus, he's questionable, but it was a not injury-related limited practice. Cameron Bynum, questionable with an ankle. Wyatt Davis, questionable with an ankle. And Everson Griffin is out for his personal reasons. Now, Bynum may be closer to doubtful because he showed up kind of in the middle of the week with injury, and then he was a no-go in the last practice, so could potentially be more of a doubtful than questionable. So, on to real thoughts. So, offensively, I think they need to run the setup the pass here, just because it's very middling at best with the 20th and 16th in terms of total rushing yards and yards per carry allowed. And I'm kind of thinking give Jefferson 4 to 8 deep targets off of those because they're going to need to be the aggressor in this game. And the two guys I'm kind of looking at are Josh Norman and Kawan Williams. They've both been targeted 32 times. Norman allowing 65.6%, Williams 75%. Norman has allowed 8 yards per target, 12.2 per completion. He's allowed a 98 quarterback rating. Williams 6.3 per target, 8.5 per completion, and a 101.4 rating. Kawan Williams is their nickel corner. That's why those numbers are so low, because tends to be a lot of quick passing in the middle there. So I'm thinking you get the play action going against those two. Try to get Jefferson and Thielen one-on-one with either of them and take your shots when you can. But you can't turn the ball over, and you still need to actually get at least probably 45% third downs on this game. Well, in this game. Defensively, the D-line is going to need someone to actually step up here. Griffin's out. Hunter's on IR. Michael Pierce is on IR. Dalvin Tomlinson's on the COVID list. So You're probably going to see some Sheldon Richardson at defensive end again like they did last weekend. And, just someone at the edge is going to need to step up because I'm actually more concerned about the edges than I am the interior. I've seen Armon Watts and James Lynch play fairly well throughout the course of this year. It hasn't been horrible, but the biggest issue has been linebackers flowing sideline to sideline, not getting caught on blocks, and actually having edges to be set. Now, I am very concerned now because you have a guy like Trent Williams on the other side of this game. So, yikes. So, you're not going to need to fall for all the window dressing they do. They like to do a lot of motions and confuse people and do all that. You need to find a way to get through it, see through all of that. Now, you're going to need to pay special attention to both Samuel and Kittle. They love to move Samuel everywhere. Last week, he was their leading rusher. So, that's a guy that you definitely need to pay special attention to. And Kittle for obvious reasons, because as a tight end, he can really burn you. Now, you're going to need to shut down the run game, and I'm assuming you're probably going to have to sell out for the run a bit. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be a lot of 5- and 6-man pressures in order to do that, just so you can still potentially double some guys, primarily Samuel and Kittle. But you need to shut that down so you can force some urgency into Garoppolo, because I think if you can force him into having an urgent mind, he might give you a couple opportunities that should not be there. However, I am going to take the 49ers to win this game. I'm taking them 26-23. I don't think the Vikings have the guys up front currently to actually compete with this. And that goes for both sides of the ball, because they just now lack talent across the entire defensive line as a whole. And I don't have much faith in the offensive line based on how they played last week against the Packers, against a much weaker defensive front. So I do think Bradbury should probably get his job back based on how Mason Cole played last week. It was not good. It was horrible. And that can't happen again. But even if that gets better, it's not like Ezra's played all that well. Oli Udoh has had holding issues. The entire interior is still kind of a mess, and I'm just not buying that they're going to be able to do that. Darisaw had his worst pass protection week last week. Now, he is a rookie, so I understand things like that happen. However, now he's going to get Nick Bosa. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm just finding it a hard time to believe that the Niners will not control the line of scrimmage in this game, which means they'll be able to control time of possession. If they can't, if the Vikings can't control that at all, then things are just going to go downhill from there because of that horrid rush defense. So I'd like to know your guys' comments down below. Like and subscribing, super helpful. And until next time, I bid you all adieu.